What's up, guys? Welcome back to Picture Breakdown. This is my full breakdown of Hawkeye Episode 3, Echoes. Spoiler warning for the episode. It has been theorized for quite a while now that Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin from Daredevil will make an appearance in Hawkeye on Disney+, but it has been mostly speculation. That was until this episode where we got this scene. So, the character who doesn't get his face revealed is very likely to be Kingpin in my opinion. He has a very similar body type to him, and he also has the same suit that he has in Daredevil. I then saw the cufflinks on the sleeve, and it definitely has some red on it, which we saw all of his cufflinks in Daredevil, and there weren't any that had a red tint like this, but this could be easily explained as he got some new cufflinks, or since it's a different alternate universe, they don't have to have the same cufflinks. But the biggest thing that made me almost 100% sure that this was the case was the laugh that sounds very much like Vincent D'Onofrio. Here, let me play a clip of the laugh against how D'Onofrio talks in Daredevil.
Yes, the attorney. I've heard about all your work in Hell's Kitchen.
Kate Bishop shoots an arrow up into the air, and Clint shoots one of his trick arrows labeled PIM with the logo for PimTech at it, and it makes it huge and destroys the truck. As always, PimTech doesn't make much sense because it's supposed to maintain the mass of a single arrow, but that's besides the point. Clint probably got this idea during the airport battle in Civil War when Steve Rogers, Captain America, and Scott Lang did a similar thing.
Throw it at this. Now!
Come on!
Oh man, I thought it was a water truck. Sorry.
So, near the end, they go to her mom's penthouse to try to use the Bishop security network, and while she's on the computer, a couple of names pop up. The first one doesn't really mean anything, the second one is the name of an Inhuman called Seeker, but Marvel doesn't really seem to be doing anything with Inhuman, so it's probably a coincidence. The third one is the last name of a few unimportant characters and writers, but the fourth one is the one I'm most interested in. It is Casimir Kazak K, which is short for Kazimierz Casimir Kazak, also known as the Clown in the comics. So, basically, this guy's family was killed, and after that he became a mercenary called the Clown. While he was a mercenary, he was hired by Kingpin, who will most likely show up in this show, as well as the Tracksuit Draculas, which is the comic book version of the Tracksuit Mafia that's in this show already. He was tasked with killing Clint Barton, but he ends up killing Clint's neighbor Grills. We've actually already met Grills. He's the cosplaying firefighter that we met earlier. The fifth name is Kemp, which could be referring to Michael Kemp, who is an inmate that Matthew Murdock interviewed in Daredevil. Nelson and Murdock actually helped him knock off 16 years from his sentence in jail. The next two don't really mean anything, but the one after that is Kilpatrick, which could be a reference to Chaz Kilpatrick, who in the comics is an intern at a comic book reference library. Skip one and we get Kishimoto, which could be a reference to the drug kingpin in the comics, Takeshi Kishimoto, who was captured and tortured by Wolverine, but then was rescued by Spider-Man, but at the end he was just killed by Wolverine. The next one is Klein, which could be a reference to Stanley Klein, who served in the Howling Commandos with Bucky, who fought with Steve Rogers, Captain America during the Battle of the Bulge. Alright, so my thoughts on this episode have been pretty positive overall. One of the biggest things that I think they did really well was how they didn't really take themselves seriously. This is what the Falcon and the Winter Soldier really fell short on, because if you take yourself too seriously, the movie or show just ends up being bland if the story isn't absolutely amazing. I think the only real MCU movie to pull this off, this serious tone, has been Captain America the Winter Soldier, and that was only because both the action and the storyline were absolutely amazing in that movie. The fact that it didn't really take itself seriously allowed it to be a really enjoyable experience. The second thing that it did well though was the action sequences, which were few, but they were really fun to watch when they did happen. But overall, I think what really made this episode for me was what the MCU is just known for, its connections. The Kingpin tease made me absolutely freak out when I saw that because Daredevil, such a good show, and Vincent D'Onofrio is really good as Kingpin. And also, the PimTech arrow was a really cool callback to the airport fight in Civil War. You know what? I think I'm going to start rating these. I think this deserves about an 84 out of 100. But before you go, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified for every future Hawkeye episode breakdown. If you enjoyed this week's breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, put down any questions or comments, and let me know if you think that Wilson Fisk's Kingpin is going to be the uncle. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next breakdown.
You do not want to see what this arrow does! Trust me!
Oh,